Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jonathan, and welcome back to Money Talks, where we want to offer you financial information and meet you where you are financially so that you're able to stick to your budget, manage to pay off debt, and begin to save on your path to building wealth. Well, today I want to share with you some things that you can actually do to start your path of building generational wealth, and it doesn't even have to cost you a dime. So, if this is your first time joining me here on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Now, oftentimes when you start your financial journey, one of the main reasons why people actually get motivated and start to build their why of what they're actually doing and what's going to motivate them to keep going is the fact that, hey, I want to be able to transform my family tree. I want to be able to leave assets and put my kids and their kids for generations to come to start on a more solid financial plateau. But there are a lot of things you can do to start that path and start that journey without even actually having the money as of yet. And here is the reason why you need to start this thing. Because even though we know about 80% of millionaires are first generation rich, well, the worst part about that stat is in the second generation, 70% of millionaires' kids lose all their money. In the third generation, 90% of kids have lost all the money that first 80% had built up. So you can imagine it's just as hard to make the money and unmask the wealth as well as keeping the money and keeping it going down. So here's some things that you can do to start that path on building your generational wealth without having any money, and it will help sustain the wealth that you're building to go further. So number one, you want to write a will. The most decrepit thing about finances is really thinking about the fact that, hey, we're all going to die someday. And when you think about how these deaths impact families, oftentimes, yes, it's a financial strain, but the second piece is the people who are left behind are all the time guessing and trying to make decisions about what that person who left with the assets wanted them to do. And that's where the will really comes in place. If you're 18 years of age or older, you should have a will. No matter what, if you only have just a small items, maybe a car, maybe a little bit of savings, you should have a will. And the fact is, in that will, you should detail what it is that you want to do and how you want your assets divided, who gets what account, why do they get the account, all those different things. The second piece of creating the will is you should actually have the conversation with the people who you are leaving these assets to. Because it's one thing to write it down, but just like when you send a text message to a friend, sometimes that message gets lost in translation. So if you have this moment, have this conversation, and it's not just a one-time thing, but consistently have this conversation over the course of your life, that person, when they leave, when you leave and leave these assets, leave these investments, all these different things, they not only know where to go to get the information that's needed to take action, they know what to do with the information, and they know why they're doing it. And there shouldn't be any confusion about that. That helps them, number one, honor you as you have left, but it always gives a person a sense of relief that, hey, I did what I was supposed to do. Not wondering, hey, what would they have wanted me to do? And that's a bad scenario. Yes, you may bless them with these assets, but it's also a good thing for them to know what it is you want to do. And that's that piece of communication that you have to have on the front end. I know it's a tough conversation to have because no one thinks about or wants to think about the day that they're going to die, but it's part of protecting your wealth, to be honest. And it's the defense that you play when you have this wealth to make sure your wealth is sustained. Next, while you have a will, you want to make sure after you talked about it and things of that nature, then you also want to bring up the concept of when you're leaving assets to someone and when you're knocking this stuff down, what typically is the challenge? Well, like I said, 70% of the money leaves in the second generation, 90% leaves in the third generation. So you want to actually start teaching your kids and the people that you're leaving behind how to handle money responsibly. Again, that doesn't cost you a dime. You can do this in very, very simple fashion. And the reason why I say it's so crucial for you to understand and start to teach them early is because that also gives you the confidence that when you leave the responsibility of a fortune to them, you know they will act responsibly and do as you intended to maximize the money and use it for the benefit of their lives and the generations to come, so that it keeps sustaining. Because if they know that they were taught, they can then teach the other generations. But how do you do that? Well, don't wait till the kid is 18 to start showing them, hey, this is how we pay bills. This is how we write a budget. This is why we write a budget. This is how much income we have. This is what's the process of going to pay the electric bill online. This is what's the process of paying the mortgage. This is how much the mortgage bill is. I mean, really get granular. When they're younger, 5, 6, 7 years old, hey, you got some money. Well, we're going to invest that. Well, I'm not going to invest it on your behalf. I'm going to sit you right here by me. And we're going to show you how you click through to invest that money. You're also going to tell them repeatedly through it why you're investing the money. See, the thing is about this teaching money thing to kids, there's so many different lessons in your day-to-day that helps them start to understand how to make a good financial decision. And honestly, even if it's not a financial decision, just making good decisions all the way around. But especially when it comes to money, when you go to the grocery store, when you pay for gas, when you have to pay for a repair on your car, getting your taxes done, paying the bills month in and month out, saving for vacation, saving for retirement, all those different things. It's important that you start that conversation, number one, early. And then number two, you actually have to show them while you're doing these things. It shouldn't be a secret. Yes, I understand make it age appropriate, because you don't want your 6, 7-year-old probably knowing how much is in your 401k, because they're not going to be able to fathom that. But they can know, hey, mom and dad go to work, and from work they get money to pay bills. And when it's time to pay bills, they sit down, they pay them. So they know and understand that all the little things in their house actually does cost. The electricity, that costs. The food they eat, that costs. And so we have to be very prudent, and we have to be diligent about what we're doing to make that money be of value for us. The next thing I want you to do when you're thinking about how you can create generational wealth is actually practice what you preach. You have to do it. So a lot of things that come from trying to teach a child actually comes by their observation of you. So what habits do you have that are financially healthy that they're going to pick up on? So how are you living your life? Are you saving money? Did you pay off debt? Did you start investing? Whatever the case may be, are you running a business? Whatever it is, how are you managing the resources that you have? And you will teach them by the habits of which you're doing. And that kind of brings me to the last point. You got to have your budget. Have your budget. Not just have a budget, but have a plan for your life. Understanding that you're only going to get anywhere by having a plan, setting a goal, and then mapping out steps to get there. The same thing is with your budget. The same thing is with your career. The same thing is with anything that you want to do. And if they understand that, hey, it doesn't get easy. It's not going to get handed to me. And I got to have a plan for how I'm going to get there. No matter what's going on, you got to have a plan. You got to live it out. But these are things you can do that don't cost you a thing, but can return dividends. Remember, think about this. You can do well. You can really grind, and you can really amass a level of wealth. 2 million, 3 million, 10 million. But how disappointed would you be if after you left, that wealth was gone? How disappointed would you be if your kids don't understand the responsibility and the maturity it takes to manage that wealth? And all that can be avoided by not keeping them closed out. Yes, these are small, simple steps, but the overall arching thing is you have to talk to your kids about the money that's going on in your home. It can be stressful, it can be tense, it can be uncomfortable because it's never really happened before. But when you think about what makes a person not do certain decisions, is their experience. So someone who has seen and been burdened by the debt will probably think twice when they go get a $500, $600, $700 car note. They'll probably think twice when they sign up recklessly for a student loan. These are things we have to walk our kids through if we want to change our family tree. You're doing the hard work. I'm sure you're cutting back. I'm sure you're looking for ways to earn income. But just as hard as that is for you to stay the course, live that unselfish dream, unselfish life, and go forward, it's going to be even harder to swallow when the next person, the next generation, has to start that path all over again. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.